Today I wanted to talk to you about incontinence, a really large topic which affects pretty much every woman throughout their lifetime. Incontinence is a topic that is hardly talked about due to it being embarrassing or thought of as being embarrassing, but it's something that I want to bring to light and give you some more information so you know what you might be able to do to help this situation more. So incontinence is basically the loss of urine unintentionally. There are different categories that this comes under, and it's important to know what category it is that you have to know how to treat it. There's a different method for each one. For example, there's number one, which is stress incontinence, and this is an incontinence, a loss of urine when there's an extra pressure. So if you cough or sneeze and there's that pressure that goes through, it causes that loss of urine. Number two is urge incontinence, which is when you have that feeling that you really need to go, and it's really hard to subside that feeling, and that then leads to a loss of urine as well. Number three is mixed, so it's a combination. You have that urge more often than you want, and it's hard to control, and then the stress and the extra pressure causes you to release your urine when you don't want. And number four is just having an overactive bladder, which just means that you're going a lot to the toilet, more than you'd like. Doesn't always mean that you are losing your urine involuntary, but it's still a concern and something that can be dealt with. So this loss of urine and incontinence, the occurrence of it in women is so high. When you're over 20 years old, there's about a 20% chance that you're going to struggle with this at some point during your lifetime or continually. There are a lot of causes that can be a part of why you have this incontinence. So it could be from obesity, it could be that you've had a number of children, it could be how you gave birth to those children. Smoking plays a part, alcohol consumption and caffeine consumption. If you're someone who is coughing a lot, if you run a lot, all these factors can play a role in giving you this incontinence. And this, mostly what I'm going to be talking about today, is stress incontinence. So we're going to go through stress incontinence today and how you can manage that. And in some following videos, we'll go through urge incontinence and as well overactive bladder. So with stress incontinence, the treatment for this is a range of things. So often they're life-changing things, but all worth considering. So to begin with, obesity is a cause of stress incontinence. So really having a look at how you can manage your weight and lose weight is so important. Whether it's exercise and just starting to do 30 minutes of exercise every day. Diet is also really important in losing weight, and so it might be helpful to touch base with the dietitian or someone to give you guidance as to the best way to do that. Also making dietary changes, such as reducing how much caffeine that you're having, that can have an effect on your bladder, as well as reducing how much alcohol. That also makes your bladder a bit more reactive and harder to control. And managing constipation as well. So if you are someone who struggles with constipation, that extra pressure inside of you can also add to that stress and that cause to then lose your urine involuntary. And so there's a number of ways of managing constipation. It might be increasing your fiber intake, increasing your fluid intake. It might be moving more. The act of moving your body and getting your blood pumping helps to move that through. It's also encouraged to try and go soon after breakfast in the morning. It's the best time of day where your body is making those movements, those natural movements, and so if you can aim to go after that mealtime, that's ideal. And also looking at how you go. So often we sit on a toilet and it's not necessarily that comfortable. In the olden days, everyone used to squat, and this was the ideal position that got our pelvis in the right position to be able to go. So what we've now changed a bit is we encourage people to have a little step in front of them, whether you buy it from a shop or whether you put some toilet rolls and you put your feet up. It just changes how your pelvis is sitting and enables you to go more easily and with less strain through the whole area there. So smoking is another life-changing thing which can affect incontinence, worth considering and worth talking to a doctor or a health professional about. And finally, pelvic floor. Pelvic floor is so important in being able to prevent and control your incontinence. And so we're going to go into that in a lot more detail because it's something we can help you with here. So pelvic floor, what is it to begin with? So if I pull up this model just to help you understand what that means. So the pelvic floor is a muscle, a number of muscles that run from the front, so your pubic symphysis, that front bone around here, and it runs like a hammock all the way under until your tailbone. So it's a large, massive muscle, and it's made up of fascia and ligaments in there as well. So how this muscle helps is that it helps to support all the organs in here. So it helps to lift everything up and keep it in the right position so that there's not that extra strain on your fascia and your ligaments, which means there's just a lot of instability in that area and harder to contract to control your bladder. It also helps if these are strong, these muscles. As you can see here, they surround your vagina and your anus, and so if you're able to contract these muscles strong, you're able to close and stop the flow of urine. So that's why I want you to be able to know how to contract it, to be able to build your strength, and then for us to be able to work on it through movements. So being able to use your pelvic floor when you're just doing normal daily life activities and when you're exercising. So today we'll run through it quite basically. Firstly, just finding where it is and knowing how to turn it on and to get that basic level of control. So I'll run through that now. If you want to find a seat, somewhere you can sit, come to the front of your chair. First of all, get your posture right. So if you're sitting up tall, your pelvic floor is able to turn on. If you're sitting bent and bad posture, it actually shuts the muscle off straight away. So sitting up tall, what I want you to think about is controlling at first your back passage, so as if you're going to stop yourself from farting. So as I talk you through it, I want you to think about closing that area to stop yourself from farting. So if you take a deep breath with me, nice and deep and big, and as you breathe out, I want you to think about closing that back passage and just holding it gently on. Hold it there, and then let it go. So if you're able to hold it on, you will feel yourself letting go, feel either pressure against your undies or the chair, or just your body then relaxing. If you notice that you were kind of jumping on your seat a little bit, it means you're using too much of your big muscles, your bottom and your thighs, to get that contraction, and it actually limits how much control you have deep within you. As you can see in this model, these muscles are quite in there, so it's trying to find these muscles in particular to get them working, not your outside big muscles. So let's have another go again. So take a deep breath in, sitting up straight, and as you breathe out, make sure your legs are relaxed. Gently close your back passage to stop yourself from farting, and just hold it there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and try to let it go over a count of 3, 2, 3. I'd like you to have it go at that until you can feel yourself closing gently and then slowly opening for 3. Once you feel like you've got a little handle on that, have a go at the bladder area, so your front passage. This time I want you to think about stopping from weeing whilst you're going. So deep breath in again, and as you breathe out, focus on just closing the front passageway as if you're on the toilet and you're stopping from weeing, and just hold it there. Make sure your legs are relaxed, your bottom's relaxed, and then open it up. Again, you will feel that separation, and that is so important that you can feel yourself opening up so that you have the control to close and you have the control to relax. Let's go again, one more time. See if you can hold for 5 seconds and then release for 3 seconds. So deep breath in, and then closing the front passage, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and releasing and opening the passage, 1, 2, 3. All right, once you feel like you've mastered the feel of that, we want to combine the two together. You probably have felt that you were getting both happening at the same time anyway, but let's purposely try to control your back and your front at the same time to get that closure and then to get that lift. So have a deep breath in again, and as you breathe out, close your back, close your front passageway, and just hold. Hold, and then let go of both. Open, open, open. As you get better at this, you can focus on both closing and then trying to draw up as well. But wait till you've got the small bits down pat before you try to progress too far. Once you can do both back and front passage and hold it together, I'd encourage you to try to aim for a 10-second hold and then a 3-second release, and try to do that 10 times. If you can do that and repeat it 3 times through the day and only the 3 times through the day, then you're at a really great level and you're ready to move on and learn how to contract your pelvic floor more strongly and in different ways. All right, hope this has been helpful, and we'll be talking soon about urge incontinence and how to manage this type of incontinence.